Chapter 379. It's a relief to see you looking much healthier than the last time I saw you. I'm truly glad. Michelin, whom Yudhir met again in Tenu, looked much cleaner and neater than when he stayed in the great serene forest. He repeatedly expressed his relief at seeing Yudhir. It's fortunate to see you looking well too, leader. How did you get here? He was invited for what's happening today. The answer came from Kishir, who was sitting behind Michelin. Despite agreeing to verify the divine sword in a private setting, Baron Wilhelm kept making excuses and wanting to increase the attendees. So I suggested calling the Western Mage Union, who have been instrumental in maintaining security in the West. It was clear what the Baron was after. He wanted to escalate matters, hoping to increase his influence if Kishir was proven to be lying, all the while refusing to give up his base ambitions despite bowing his head for the Star of Nagran. It was remarkable. Kishir had no reason to back down, as the sword he possessed was the real divine sword and he was its true master. However, he subtly provoked the Baron's pride and drew in the Western Mage Union and Michelin. The Baron had thought that the Western Mage Union would not accept the request, but surprisingly, Michelin accepted it at once upon seeing the letter. I didn't want to go to Baron Wilhelm's mansion, but if I can help His Highness, the rewards will more than justify it. That's enough. Thank you for saying so. The help we can offer is simply maintaining neutrality and judging the matter fairly on site. I promise to proclaim the truth we witnessed today, without a shred of falsehood, to everyone in the West with full honor. Seeing the confident smile of the elder mage, Yudhir realized that Kishir's reason for drawing the Western Mage Union was not merely due to the old grudges between them and Baron Wilhelm. The influence of the Mage Union in the West seems greater than I thought. And that made sense. Having handled dangerous tasks like controlling monsters in the West for Baron Wilhelm for several years, they must have had rapport with many people. They must be pleased to not only repay our past kindness, but also take revenge against Baron Wilhelm, who had dared to trample the mage's pride. The comprehensive research support that the Western Mage Union was to receive from Kishir must have also positively influenced his refreshing decision. Michelin's attitude, clearly different from before just by his immediate visit to see Kishir upon arrival, was noticed. Recalling his unpleasant expression in Great Serene Forest, Yudhir thought he seemed quite pleased today and allowed himself a faintly cold smile. Baron Wilhelm might think that just the Western Mage Union alone wouldn't be able to do anything, but that would be something he would learn when it actually happened. While Yudhir was lost in thought, Kishir's gaze shifted to Lusan beside him. Priest Lusan, the priests visiting today are coming to verify the authenticity of my divine sword and whether I'm the real master or not. Did you know that? Yes, I heard. Lusan nodded with a slightly tense face. I trust the priest Baron Wilhelm will bring, of course, but your divine power is needed to prove more concrete evidence. The more powerful the priest, the more helpful it will be. But no matter how I think about it, there doesn't seem to be anyone better than you. The explicit compliment made Lusan's ears turn red. He tightly gripped the wooden emblem around his neck and nodded. If there is anything I can help with, I will do it. Thank you. In that case, Nathan? Yes. Nathan Zuckerman, the last to catch the Lord's eye, stepped forward. Please inform the Tain's first prince that I may be a little late for dinner tonight and ask for his understanding. Understood. Nathan Zuckerman casually said goodbye and went outside. That conversation was a kind of signal. Yudhir recalled the command that Kishir had given to Pruel Van Tain during the previous meeting. When Kishir met privately with the priests of the Sun God and Baron Wilhelm, he would transform into the Baron to meet his brother Graham Wilhelm and gather information. Sending Nathan Zuckerman was to notify Pruel of the start time and protect him at the same time. Kishir got up leisurely, like a predator anticipating the long awaited hunt. The divine sword, hanging at his waist, was still wrapped in thick cloth. Yudhid began to walk behind him. Today's meeting was strictly private, so even the servants in the mansion didn't know what was happening. Kishir headed towards a small chapel located behind the main house, following a path where Baron Wilhelm had previously sent the servants away. Already there, three elderly priests dressed in priestly garments and Baron Wilhelm were waiting for them. I greet your grace, Duke Paleta. The eternal light of radiance, may warm righteousness right be with you. The three priests were renowned figures leading the sun god's temple in the western region. Born and raised nobly, their necks and hands were adorned with precious gems and gold and silver emblems like jewelry. After introducing themselves and finishing the greetings, their eyes moved unanimously to the sword at Kishir's waist. A sense of tension filled the air, and Baron Wilhelm stepped forward. Your Highness, is that sword the divine sword, or? It is. At Kishir's stoic answer, the elderly priests all inhaled sharply. But why have you covered it with cloth? The scabbard is too flashy, and it hurts my eyes as well. Well, I suppose I should uncover it to verify. Kishir nonchalantly untied the cloth that bound the scabbard under the gaze of everyone present. Slowly revealed a large and small magical stones, and the beautiful patterns created with powdered gems began to appear on the scabbard. Oh my god! As if witnessing something deeply awe-inspiring, one of the priests exclaimed excessively. Another priest looked closely at the sword with eyes that still couldn't entirely erase doubt. It probably looks suspicious, appearing to be mere ornamental sword. The divine sword had been left neglected in the corner of Paleta Castle for quite some time without meeting its owner, Kishir. It was famous as a sword of the first emperor, but even the priests wouldn't have known much about it unless they had an exceptional interest in the sword. Still, thanks to the tales that unauthorized touch could bring misfortune, no one dared to reach out to it. Kishir, noticing Baron Wilhelm's doubtful look, smiled and slowly grabbed the handle of the sword. I don't seem to enjoy drawing it for no reason, but today is the day, so even the divine sword or will understand. The well-maintained blade slowly emerged from the scabbard. The priest and Baron Wilhelm all stayed with narrowed eyes and tense expressions. But no other change occurred. ... One of the priests who had maintained silence cautiously opened his mouth. It appears quite impressive. Naturally, I sharpened it well this morning. Kishir replied playfully, twisting the sword this way and that to show it off. Can you feel it? The power of the divine sword? The priests looked at each other with somewhat bewildered expressions. They seemed to have expected the power or mark of the divine sword to reveal itself merely by looking at it. But their faces betrayed their perplexity when this did not happen. After a moment, one of the priests stepped forward and spoke. I must apologize, Your Highness, but sight alone we cannot feel the divine power, and verification seems difficult. Could you perhaps show us that mighty and divine force that was felt even outside the great serene forest? Actually, that might be a bit difficult. Whether it was due to the using the sword's power excessively in the dangerous situation or something else, regrettably, I have not fully recovered yet. You know, I'm famous for being frail, don't you? Their eyes all turned in unison to the face of the man smiling, a head taller and broader in shoulders. However, the fact that the Duke of Paleta had been sickly and bedridden for a long time was known to everyone, so no one said a word. So, I want to prove it in another way. What would that be? Could one of you infuse this sword with divine power? What? A sword bestowed by God can manifest its aura more powerfully than other swords. It responds to the power of God. To infuse it with divine power, there is no need to actually touch the sword. If you can provide enough force, confirmation should be possible. Ah, the faces of the three elderly priests changed simultaneously into various colors.